everybody, and welcome back to Keeping Up with the Theta Delts. I'm your host, Ethan Cook, here with my guest, Chris Amanakadal.
It's Chrissy A,
and President Carter Birch.
As always, it's good to be here, Mr. Cook.
Yes, sir. All right, so I'm going to preface this episode by saying this is very off-the-cuff, impromptu, coming out later than usual because the plan was for this to be in the new studio. Couldn't get it set up right away, so we are just rolling with the punches here. And we're going to jump in with the elephant in the room. Chris is running with career services after Ray was mistakenly called a Phi Delt. And Chris, you want to just walk us through what happened with that and everything that was going on there?
Sure. So it all started off with like a message on the Discord chat, and Drake apparently was like, "Oh no, Drake got mistakenly taken as a Phi Delt." I was like, "Oh no, here we go again." And apparently from one of our brothers, this hasn't been the first time that it has occurred. So all I see is Drake pull up a picture, and all I see is clearly his Theta Delta Chi shirt on him, and
in English, right? Not the Greek letters. Spelled out in English.
Yeah, definitely spell it out, you know. And all I see is at Wabash Phi Delts. And I was like, okay, you know, clearly it's either one of the two other things, you know, where it's, you know, racially profiled in some way, or it just was an honest mistake, which I clearly can see that, you know, not everyone can have a clear thought of, you know, so many different letters out here, especially when there's 10. And so I thought it was mostly appropriate to send out an email, you know, according to this issue. And, you know, I just try to point out that as my job as D.E.I chair, that, you know, I try to talk to this, which I don't know who it was who posted it, so I clearly just searched up under my badge.
Yeah, Cassie Hagan.
But I mean, I didn't write it to her specifically. Okay. It was just careers at wabash.edu because it was just on a more general page, you know, on Wabash Professional Development. But yeah, I didn't want to target that one specific person, but at least know that if you're gonna at someone, especially in organization, at least double check that it's the correct one, right?
Yeah,
you know,
you would think.
Look bad on us and fight.
Yeah, so I don't really know. I mean, with the P and the T are, you know, on the keyboard, it's pretty much spread across.
Yeah, opposite side of the keyboard.
Yeah. So. I mean, yeah, but sure, it's, you know, if it was truly not a mistake, then I truly get that. But yeah, I mean, we also had a little bit conflicts with this fraternity in the past, but
well, Ray has been profiled as a Phi Delt before, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Just because of like Phi Delt is known as, which there's nothing wrong. I think it's great that they're the most diverse house on campus.
Which, hands up to them, you know.
I mean, no, they do a great job recruiting everybody. And I think that was kind of why they instantly assumed Ray was a Phi Delt.
Yeah.
This isn't the first time.
Yeah. But definitely was kind of unexpected from Wabash Development Professionals, you know, to come out like that. But I mean, I was just trying to do my job, right? And I just wanted them to at least acknowledge that, you know, there are 10 different fraternities here, you know, of course, at Wabash College. And yeah, and the response wasn't as what I expected it to be, you know. So I don't know. Once I got done with the launch talk, I got the email. I opened the email, and it wasn't what I expected. But I read the first two sentences, and I chuckled because I was like, okay, this wasn't my intention to. Wasn't to obviously offend anyone or put them on the spotlight, right? But I was just trying to, you know, push out that Ray has been profiled as a Phi Delt a couple of times before, and but yeah, she kind of seemed to push me down in the sort of way that, you know, I've been here more years here at Wabash more than you have.
The quote was like, "I've been here 15 to 12 years at Wabash.
12
I know
years.
more than you do about fraternities."
12 years, but clearly I don't know why she said that when she started off here, there was like
There were
nine to
it was
nine to start.
Delt being removed. So Phi Delt and Theta Delt were not one of the missing fraternities.
Yeah. So that had absolutely nothing to do with it.
Yeah, no.
Either way, so yeah, but that kind of went off, and it's just a 5-paragraph long. It's like I took the time to just read all that.
5 fat paragraphs.
Yeah, which I mean, I just only wrote a short notice of just, hey, we got this issue on here. I just want to make it fully aware that this hasn't been the first time.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Chris. Your email addressed the issue that this could have been a mistake or it could have been profiling. And as DEI chair, you felt the idea to defend one of your brothers, and then her response was
play the victim.
That you know less.
Honestly, I mean that's what it was.
Yeah, she was like, you know less than I do. I know more than you do. And then she was sitting here belittling you through the whole email on how unprofessional you were.
Yeah.
While this email is filled with 100 typos, and she's like clanking the keys in anger.
Wabash professional development, doing one of the more unprofessional things I've seen.
I mean, she was ripping Chris apart in the email, saying he was being a terrible gentleman. I was like, I just wanted to take a moment and be like, they tell us to think critically. I'm like, she did not think critically before reading this.
You should have responded with one of my personal favorite responses. I ain't reading all that.
No, I can't do that though. I just had to see like where she was coming from. Had to at first just accept that maybe the email wasn't too great. Maybe I should have come at a different way, obviously. But I think I wasn't trying to push the idea that she was this type of person, right? Mm-hmm. But obviously, I was trying to say is that, hey, I'm trying to defend this brother right here,
I think either way here, Chris, I think you send an email as a concerned brother for one of your Wabash brothers, and from the professional development team who's supposed to help you draft effective emails and be effective in the workplace, their response is to belittle you and destroy you in a 5-paragraph email that is one of the most unprofessional emails I've seen at Wabash.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I have nothing against Cassie Hagen personally until I really started reading the email she sent you, Chris.
Yeah.
I just think there's just not an effective way to talk to students. Even if you would have said something like, I think you're being like this and you're targeting him, your response should be like, I apologize that you feel that way. We will make an edit and change it. You told her just to be more aware of the fraternities.
Seriously. Yeah.
They're well known. And then she just hit you with I know more about fraternities, which is funny because you were a new member at Phi Delt before coming to Theta Delt. You know more about both fraternities than she does.
I think my favorite line from the whole thing was, no good deed goes unpunished.
Yes.
Because she didn't do a good deed. And that was exactly the problem.
But she was like, I couldn't believe, and she goes, there were a bunch of Theta Delts there, so I meant to give the reputation to Theta, like the praise to Theta Delt. I'm like, but the problem was, you just admitted that you knew there were a bunch of Theta Delts.
Like, you made a mistake. Just own up to the fact that you made a mistake. Instead, like, you decided to be just evil about it. Like, bro.
She just hit you, Chris, with everything. You know less than me.
Yes, I do.
You're a dumb 19-year-old.
I think I mentioned it last night, but she literally was like trying to be holier than thou. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah, but definitely my intention was, I mean, she could have really just said, it's like, wrote an email back to me and say, hey, my intention wasn't to clearly, put out Ray like that, and it wasn't really my intention. I apologize for what it might have looked like, right? Mm. But definitely she came out at a really different, side of the story. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't expecting that from her. Clearly, I mean,
and you wouldn't.
The thing that blew me away in the email was she said you started attacking her staff.
Yeah, I mean, personally, who else am I supposed to contact, or email if it's at a Wabash professional development page? Mm-hmm. Like, all I saw was Casey Hagen helping out Ray. You know, another staff was also helping him too. I mean, I didn't know who to go to directly.
But they blasted you like you had like threatened death on her staff.
I definitely wasn't trying to go after her staff. All I was trying to say is, hey, please at least ask, you know, or at least clearly see his shirt, you know, like his shirt was clearly out.
Yeah, that was the funny part. It's like in the post, you can read Theta Delta Chi on his shirt.
I know.
In the post, like all they had to do was look at their picture one more time before they posted it.
Yeah,
but I don't know, man.
I just no matter what, you leave out the idea that it was anything with racial profiling, and just a student asking, saying, "Could we get the right post because you put the wrong student?" Instant response of, "You attacked my staff. We know what we're doing.
Seriously.
We know fraternity's better than you."
Seriously.
I'm like, it just seems outlandish that she's claiming she knows more about the 10 fraternities than any student who's in one of the 10 fraternities.
And you know what's even crazier, arguably, is this is our second low light in 2 semesters. Let's not forget last semester when Soup lost his backpack. And she took that as an opportunity to do a shameless plug. She was like, you know, you lost your backpack, you can come to career services.
She goes,
okay.
Won't lose stuff if you upload it on Box on career services. Never fear.
Oh, you are not him.
Man literally got robbed.
The devil dog.
He literally got robbed, and her response was, "Yo, you should visit career services. This is what you should get out of this."
Really meaningful email from Super. He's like, keep the backpack, like keep whatever you took, whatever. Just please give me my Bible back. Like that's what I want. And she's just like, well, you might be able to get it at career services. Like, I don't know.
We are holier than thou. I mean, the worst part is I have no offense to Wabash faculty, but we do not consider the emails we send out. We talked about jokes with the Sphinx Club constantly and how they do like open hazing with air raids and things like that. Maybe it's not to the mass degree of forcing guys to drink openly, but you're forcing them to, anytime someone says something, to get on the ground and kick your feet in the air. Yeah. But Wabash faculty continue to support that. Dr. Warner, who's like one of the longest tenured professors at Wabash, sends an email saying, "Yo, you guys shouldn't yell air raid unless you're in the Sphinx Club.
Only Sphinx Club members can yell air raid."
Actually.
And I will yell it when I wear my sacred pot in my...
I caught one of them getting like straight bullied on the mall the other day. There was a club guy standing right next to one of the Rhinies, and he just kept saying it. So the guy would stand up, front flip, do the thing. Stand up, front flip, do the thing, like 5 times in a row in the snow. And I was like, man.
Dude, it just doesn't make sense. But then the faculty supporting that openly. Yeah. Sending out an all-campus email.
What was shocking to me is that they had that going on when they were prospective students here.
They do.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that was crazy.
When I was walking to my class, I think so, bro, Dr. Warner was with like a prospect, right? He's like, "Oh yeah, the Sphinx Club is all this, you know, and this is what they do." I was like, bro, and they were actively doing it too.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they're out there with no coats on, doing front flips in the snow, kicking their feet up in the air.
I was like, bro, what is going on? I feel like this doesn't look too good.
I mean, it's insane. But just an all-campus email when you're the longest tenured professor. If anything ever comes out about them having hazing allegations, they're cooked, bro.
It's fire. Yeah.
I mean, and now with the new dean of students coming from potentially one coming from Dartmouth. I mean, open hazing is, even if it goes on behind the scenes, keep in mind when I say this, 100% anti-hazing. Theta Delta Chi is 100% anti-hazing.
100%.
It is. We are open about that's never going to happen. That happened years ago at our fraternity house at Theta Delta at Wabash, and will never happen again as long as most of us can. I will stand strong on that. The time I'm here, it will not happen.
Yep.
But I mean, I know it goes on in other places at Wabash.
Yeah.
But openly doing it in front of faculty who are like, they're being whimsy. It's their whimsy they have. They're whimsical.
Just as far as I know, I think the club is the only ones that do it like openly, like no cover, like they're just fully open about it.
Do you not know about the Fiji fruit? There's a Fiji freshman every year that carries around fruit. Did you not see the guy carrying pumpkins?
No, I haven't seen that.
So There's a Fiji freshman every year at Wabash.
Okay.
He starts with a grape.
Okay.
And when the upperclassmen break the grape, like they have to find it and break it,
Okay.
he gets a larger fruit.
Oh.
And he'll keep going up. And I mean, they get him to like where they have full-size watermelons, and he gets so bad about carrying it around. He's carried everywhere.
Oh my god.
It gets so bad they have to wrap it in plastic wrap because it's rotting and like falling apart.
Oh my god.
And they have to carry that around to all their classes
Gross, bro.
until the brothers like destroy it. Sick guy. One of their guys carries around a giant rock. One of them carries a rock. One of them carries a mattress. They have to carry him to class.
Take a mattress to class?
Hey,
What?
bro,
You didn't see any?
I haven't seen any of this.
There's a
Or maybe if I have, I just passed it off as Wabash hijinks. I don't know. You never know what you'll see walking around.
I mean,
you know?
I saw a guy last semester. I think he was a Phi Psi, was dressed up as Mario and had balloons like it was Mario Kart.
Okay, I think I did see that.
And the brothers were like chasing him down. Like, what is happening?
I think I remember seeing that and thinking,
I mean,
it's a Wednesday.
I feel like we would do that as brothers. Like we'd mess with, be like,
Yeah.
I bet I could go all day.
Yeah.
Like I would do it for Philanthropy. I'd be like, I will, if you pay like $10, I will dress as Mario and you can try and pop a balloon on me all day.
Yeah.
Like as an incoming, like as a freshman, it's just like, this is what we're showing people on tours.
Mm-hmm.
The hardest thing to explain, because I do tours, is watching guys roll on the ground doing air raids.
Yeah.
It is one of the hardest things to explain without being like, well, they're kind of openly hazy.
Yeah. He's choosing to get tortured right now. Okay.
I just think the new dean of students we get is going to be an interesting.
Yeah. So is the new dean of students filling, like, is somebody leaving and we're
So Dean Redding was supposed to be done a few years ago.
He's retired.
Stepping back down to teach German.
Oh, okay.
So he's going to teach German. He's going to go on sabbatical for a year, and then he's going to come back and teach German.
Okay. Okay.
Bad.
The candidate is not one of the candidates is not Dean Welch, and I think both candidates are outside candidates, meaning they're not Wabash. They're not like Wabash men.
So they don't know how things. Yeah.
They don't know about the Sphinx Club. They don't know about Chapel Sing. They don't know about the bench.
See, that's
It's going to be an interesting transition.
It's going to be an adjustment for
Culture shock, huge culture shock, I feel like.
Which I think, as you know, we've all done it, but I think chapel singing is a good thing because it's not like a hazing ritual.
Oh no,
it's like it's a thing.
It used to be.
It used to be, but like now it's like this community building thing, and like you connect with brothers in your house because like you've all earned your W, and it's like this big event. It's almost like a big sporting event on the campus. It's not like a. I don't know. It's completely different from like what you think of as hazing. Like it truly is like it's a good thing. I think.
I feel like it's just more like about like just really Wabash as a whole, because it's also independence and isn't just fraternity.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's also staffs too who can participate.
Yeah, there's staff that participate every year.
And it's not that bad. Like I mean, of course, some of the other fraternities have a different style of doing it, but definitely like it's just a really great way for students to see, oh wow, like this is actually pretty cool. We get to see like a whole bunch of guys trying to like sing this important thing about Wabash, the fight song,
and show off their hard work too, because it's a lot of work to get the fight song memorized to that point where you can have guys, all this like it's being sung in different tempos all around you, and it's yelling, screaming, everything, and being able to keep
fist bumps on you in the chapel.
Yeah, and being able to like. Yeah, being able to put the work in to get it mastered so you can earn that W. It's like a way of showing pride for the work that you've done.
How well do you guys know the history of chapel sing? Because there is
not super well.
There is an interesting history of chapel sing. So like chapel sing originally they would shave a W in your head if you got it wrong. They would shave a W in the side of your head.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
and that actually
I'll take that L.
You'll take that. So
let's take in the W.
Before before the MXI was actually built, there was a group of African American students, and I think don't quote me, I'm pretty sure it was like the Afro Club, and they refused. They wanted to participate in chapel sing, but refused to have their head shaved because of chapel sing. And then after that, they started getting rid of shaving the W in the head. And then later, that group of individuals went on and they petitioned for an MXI, and now we have, of course, the MXI Institute of Black Studies. But they lived in their own house on campus, so that changed the shaving of the W in the head. But it also used to be run by the IFC. It was not the Sphinx Club who ran chapel sing. It was the Interfraternal Council. And once the Interfraternal Council gave up that, they gave up homecoming. The amount of events that the IFC controls and the authority the IFC controls on campus is absolutely nothing. And I think giving up those kind of things like chapel sing has made it run worse. I mean, my freshman year, it was terrible. The year before you came, Chris's freshman year, there was a beta that got a concussion.
Oh, yeah.
I heard about that story. Yeah,
He had
got
to get rushed out by an ambulance.
Crazy.
Yeah.
There were 2 of them that fell down. One had to be rushed to the hospital. Luckily, no one pressed charges. But used to, the Sphinx Club guys would run full speed at the betas standing on the chapel steps trying to get into the chapel. So the betas would like link arms and it was like Red Rover. I have videos of guys getting suplexed on bricks.
Oh my
yeah.
Like
gosh.
full body slams.
Oh man.
And that was when it switched back to the Sphinx Club running it. And then the college is like, all right, now we're stepping in. And it's changed for the better. But I feel like transitioning some stuff back to the IFC is a great idea. I think it gives the fraternities the authority we have. We're back to 60% of the campus. I think it's something that the college needs to invest in. Maybe with this new dean of students, maybe something like that could occur. But chapel sing is an interesting history of Wabash.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So I had heard some of the more recent stories like that about about the beta getting the injury, and then I think I'd heard, wasn't there like a member of the club who was like power tripping or something like that, and just like giving people
He was
X's?
just handing out X's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He was handing them out crazily.
Did one of the guys in our house fall victim to
It was
that?
Cade.
Cade
got an outlandish X from it was Jonathan Silva, who's since been removed from the college. Was in a lot of places of leadership, had a lot of mental health issues, got into hard drugs, and then was found in his room almost dead off of drugs.
Oh man.
And then he like went crazy. He sent like an all. Here's the thing: why all campus emails should be filtered. I'm not a fan of getting rid of free speech, but sometimes we need to check on all campus emails. He blasted an all campus email last year. Do you remember this email?
I think so, yeah.
He was like, load the buses. He goes, we're going to storm the oppression of Indianapolis. Everybody load the buses at noon. He goes, they'll be waiting outside the chapel. Everyone's like, what?
What?
Yeah. He was saying like the police were racist. They were trying to get him, like they were pulling him off the street because he was sleeping on the street. Like,
Bro.
It was pretty bad. But then his all campus email was like, load the buses at noon. We're going to storm Indianapolis. I'm like,
for what?
It was hard to say. Like I don't know what happened. Clearly not everything was right mentally, but yeah, that was like another thing of all campus emails. Like the emails have been outlandish my time at Wabash.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say about it.
So the topic that got us started here, topic of D.E.I. is becoming a hot topic in the U.S. in general. With the new policies, like basically removing D.E.I. policies that have been in place, some in place for a long time now. Kind of starting to erode away at that, which from what I understand, the idea behind it is like, oh, well, we shouldn't need policies for these things to be in effect.
Right.
But at the end of the day, that's looking at America through tinted lenses, or like the very optimistic lenses, right? What's the like rose-colored glasses or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Where unfortunately we probably do need these policies in place to make sure people are treated as people still aren't treated equally, but we're trying to get closer to that.
That's the goal.
Which I hope that doesn't change now, but my fear is now with the removal of these policies, it'll give more people the chance to not treat others fairly in workplaces and things like that. So as D.E.I. chair of our house, and you are on like is D.E.I. counselor, or isn't there some sort of D.E.I.?
Yeah. So basically the committee.
D.E.I. committee, yeah. So I just want to know, like, what are your kind of thoughts on this and worries or things that you have about this?
So definitely start off with, definitely the purpose of D.E.I. is not to obviously favor a group of people, right? It's definitely just to help out, with marginalized people and underrepresented groups of people that who might not have the same access as others, and definitely it isn't like to put shame to anyone, right? But definitely there's been like debates about whether is it really helping them, or is it mostly favoring them in their own favor? Is this and what about the others? But it goes back to my idea of saying like it isn't at all like to put shame to anyone, right? But it's definitely to help improve, to help at least make something fair, right? And with going back to Trump, you know, it's definitely been the biggest issue and across with other companies, you know, and with Trump saying that it's immoral, which I don't know what to say about that, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough subject,
right?
Yeah,
but definitely everyone has their own opinions, right? But definitely, like, I mean, there's been a historic across the U.S. You know, calendar, you know, and it's definitely not the greatest thing, but obviously keeping this DEI present, I mean, it should definitely just help. Like overall, it isn't supposed to like say this is for you guys. You guys get to be like this group of guys where, you know, you guys are better off than other people. You know, it's definitely not that.
I'm going to preface by saying before I speak on the thing I have in my mind, I do not speak for the Grand Lodge for Theta Delta Chi at all.
Yeah.
These are my own personal opinions.
Yeah, we're speaking for ourselves here.
Yes, I do not speak on behalf of the entire Grand Lodge, just in case someone uses this audio for something, make sure that's clear.
I'm clipping it out of context.
Yeah, okay. So this has been an issue talked about for years at Theta Delta as well. Even before all this stuff like legally has been changed, was the idea of, do we initiate women? Like people who identify as women, biological women, and this has been the conversation because MIT has presented it for multiple years and it's been declined. The first year it went to it got approved and it got approved at convention and went to the charges for voting. Did not pass. This last convention, it was proposed 2 conventions ago. So in Arizona, it was proposed again and didn't make it off the convention floor. Now there's the idea of just some individuals like, okay, what do we do? These have just been common questions that come up is what do we do about people that are like they were born female but have transitioned to male.
Yeah, and now identify as male. Yeah.
And the thing I always talked about in all of the meetings is it should be the autonomy. We don't need to get political on it. We don't need to decide for them what they decide is male.
Yeah.
We don't need to, as a fraternity, we don't have to decide what you personally in your charge defines as male. But we won't hinder on who you recruit.
Yeah.
There's no point. You recruit the type of man you want. Whether they transition to male, they identify as male, you recruit who you want because you feel they are a good person to extend the brotherhood and help expand Theta Delta.
I 100% agree.
That has been the biggest conversation. Maybe that's what MIT was getting at, and just in different ways. But it's like my idea is like, let it be. Like they're wanting to join a brotherhood. Let it be. If you have the right, you have freedom of speech, you have freedom of expression, just let people be. Why do we need to be like, you have to live your life this way?
Yeah.
You have to live your life this way. That's how we get into the idea of, like, it's oppression at that point. Like, you have to live how I say you have to live.
Exactly.
It's conforming. Instead of being on the innovation side, you're just conforming to social ideology.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know. It's a touchy subject.
It is.
I feel like some stuff needs to be precedented, but we don't need to force everything. Like, everyone does not have to agree upon something. I think the thing is most people can't agree to disagree and let people be their own person.
Yeah.
They just can't.
I think, when it comes to recruitment, it should be like the people in that house, like they're the ones choosing to let someone into their house or not, extend the brotherhood to somebody in their house. And I don't think it truly matters all that much what a person identifies themselves as. Like if they want to join this brotherhood and the brotherhood thinks they're a good fit for the brotherhood, then that's what matters more than anything else, in my opinion.
And I think this is interesting because it's like this topic doesn't come up when we're recruiting guys at Wabash.
Yeah.
We're recruiting different kind of guys than people at MIT.
Yeah.
MIT is recruiting completely different guys than UCLA. UCLA is recruiting people different than Arizona State, Arizona, Michigan State, Dartmouth. They're all recruiting different kind of people. And I think the thing we focus on too much is we all have to recruit the same. No. No, we're not
Each
the
charge
same
is
institution.
different. Yeah.
We are an all-male college here at Wabash. We don't have this kind of option. We can only recruit biological males because that's a stipulation in the state of Indiana.
Yeah.
That's not our choice as a charge. That's the choice of the college. That's where we're at. but I think it's a topic that comes up a lot more now, and I think DEI is an important thing to always keep in the front of our minds, but right now it's getting pushed to the back of our minds. No one cares about it. Well, no, not that no one cares. It just seems that a majority of people don't give a...
It's just been limited by the side, you know. It isn't. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people tend to ignore it, but it's really just an important, you know, definitely group of people where, you know, why not just try to help out, you know, make sure. I mean, definitely, it's definitely on the person's character, you know, or on anything. How would you have like the best charge if you don't have the greatest guys? Or greatest group of people?
I mean, Chris,
where can you get that?
Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, but people in the house have made mistakes before and slipped up on DEI, like even on smallest things, and it's not like you're instantly like, oh, you're racist, you're terrible, you're meaning this. Yeah. It's more of you try to educate them. Oh, that was maybe insensitive.
It's supposed to be educational.
Yeah, right. And it isn't like again with that email that I sent out, it was not to put out anyone out in the spotlight. Yeah. It was not to label them as this sort of person, you know. I definitely try my best to correct in the most appropriate way, I would say.
I think you do a good job. It's like you sit down and have a conversation like, okay, maybe that's not as appropriate to say. Maybe try saying this. I think you do a good job doing that. And I think that's what people don't realize DEI really should be, is education on things rather than being like, you're racist, you're racist. You're sexist, you're homophobic. Like that's the instant jump when someone's like, oh no, the DEI committee's after me. And they're just trying to help educate you.
Right. It isn't like I said, like my purpose isn't to shame anyone. My purpose is to correct their behavior. What they said was wrong, how it was wrong, and just, you know, like for example, one of the brothers in the house, you know, mistakenly said something, you know, and he confessed to me, you know, and that was like the greatest thing, because I've in my years here at Theta Delta, you know, no one has ever done that, you know, and it's definitely really impressive. And to say that one brother confessedly came up to me and say, hey, like I made this comment that might have not been the most considerate. And I was like, wow, that honestly just surprised me, you know, and the fact that he knew that it wasn't the perfect way. He wasn't perfect at all, right? But he honestly just came up to me and said, hey, like I made this sincere. It's like, dude, as long as that is my only thing for my brothers to do, to come up to me and literally just confess to me, like, hey, yeah, maybe you shouldn't say that, you know, and then I come and put more suggestions on top. It's like, okay, just make sure you don't do that ever again, you know.
We grow up in different areas too. Like you're Chris, you're from the city, right? You're in Indianapolis, Greenwood area.
Lawrence.
And like Cook, you're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I come from absolute middle of nowhere.
I come from nowhere too, and it's like everybody there is like, not in a mean way. Everyone there is straight, white.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a different area, and then I come here and it's completely different. And the conversation is maybe some of the stuff they said where I grew up is completely different than what's appropriate, and it's just learning from there.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think people instantly think the DEI and all that stuff is just about labeling people as racist, but that's not what it's about. It's education.
Yeah. And back to what we were saying earlier about like giving like others a fair shot. So this isn't just a U.S. like politics topic. So I don't know how much you guys know about NFL requirements, but there's something called the Rooney Rule when you're going to hire somebody for a position on the team. Like say for example a head coach, when you have a head coach opening, there's requirements called the Rooney Rule, and what it is you are required. A team is required to have in-person interviews with, I believe it's at least 2 or maybe 3 candidates of a minority group. Where when this rule was implemented, it was a really good thing and it was innovative because minority group potential candidates weren't receiving the fair shot that they maybe should have been. And it opened a lot of doors for a lot of coaches and things like that to rise through the ranks better and it was doing great stuff. But now there's talk about removing it because it's gone like past the peak, and now some believe is having like an opposite effect where a lot of just minority group candidates are just receiving interviews just because they have to fulfill this Rooney Rule, where the belief is now that like, okay, well, coaches are getting fair shots no matter what background they come from. Now this rule is just more of a hindrance more than anything else. So it's similar to like the DEI thing where it's like, okay, you might be looking at it through the wrong lens potentially because there are still those out there that will, deny those opportunities. But it is certainly an interesting topic, as you were saying, with like the admitting of potentially non-biological males. Like these are really interesting topics, and it's above our pay grade to decide what happens. But
none of us get paid. Let's be honest.
But yeah, I mean, these are certain topics that like need to be discussed in a responsible manner. Not in a hateful manner, but in an educational manner. We educate each other. We talk about it. We share our viewpoints and things like that. And I think that's what's really important about.
You have to come in with a level head. Most of the time, no one goes in with a level head. Mm-hmm. Like Cassie Hagen's response to your email, she was not level headed.
Exactly.
Her response was instantly, I'm going to this is my anger response. Mm-hmm. That's not how you go into any conversation. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it is the hardest thing ever to just step back, take a minute, but it just takes time. That's something we talked about actually, and new member Ed most recently was someone may say something that personally attacks you, and it may suck, but it's still feedback. And sometimes just take a step back. Yeah. If it's good feedback, take it. If not, ignore it, but try to come back to the conversation with a level head, because that's going to happen no matter where you go in life. Yeah, I think that's just something people have to do is keep a level head the whole time.
Mm. Yeah, I agree. Because when I got that email response back, I definitely was like, why did she even say that?
Yeah.
Definitely everyone has a different reaction to, and the thing is that also with emails is that you can't put a specific tone on it, and I feel like I think that's where it lacks. Writing it out like person to person type thing, it's completely two different things. But definitely, like I went through it. I asked a couple brothers, like, "Hey, was my email not the best thing?" And I definitely got like different responses, from different other people. And I'm like, well, I don't think I really meant it that way, But definitely some other brothers were like, it was all right, it wasn't the best thing. But I mean, yeah, definitely, I feel like I should have wrote that email a little bit better. But I honestly think it wasn't really to push off that person over to the head,
You came in with a level head and tried to keep a neutral perspective.
Yeah.
That's what you tried to do.
My only guess is maybe she just like completely blew out of proportion like what I think she assumed to be an accusation of like racial profiling, which all you do is mention like, hey, like, I don't know if basically throwing out this possibility, like, I don't know if this is what happened, not good. And then I think she maybe saw that as like a personal attack and calling her like a racial profiler.
She made it sound like he attacked her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, like going from like, hey, you guys made a mistake. Can we do better in the future? And whether this was from, whether it was just a, big accident or whether it did come from a place of like, racial profiling, whatever, doesn't matter that much. The point is a mistake was made and let's do better in the future. But instead, let emotions get the better. Like,
I mean, that is honestly what I said. It's like, hey, I feel like I think it would be better to ask these guys, like, here, are you Theta Delta Chi? It wouldn't hurt. It's just a quick second just to ask a question.
Yeah.
I say, oh, okay. And you just
before you make the post,
right.
Just verify, verify your information.
It's like what you do every time, like in everyday life. Make sure it's the right fax number. Make sure it's the right phone number. Make sure that the text that you send, is correct. But it doesn't hurt. But I could definitely see where she's coming from, though.
Yeah, totally understandable. And now the topic from earlier that I had mentioned, the new podcast studio. Hopefully it'll be available, or we'll have it. The next week's episode will be in the new studio.
Last thing will come either Sunday or Monday will be the last thing coming in.
So hopefully we can get it set up and done for next week. I get to teach myself how to do proper video editing, so I'm looking forward to that.
Soundproofing's here. Yeah. Soundproofing set up. Cameras ordered in. We can kind of mess with that if we want to. I might mess a little bit with it this weekend and Cook, you're gonna be going wild now with videography. We just got the new mics in today. They're
hefty mics.
Cook is gonna be cooking.
I'm gonna try. I might take a few hours out of my day to learn how to properly edit, but we'll figure it out. We'll get her done. But yeah, excited about that.
Shout out Educational Foundation for that grant.
Shout out. Thank you so much. Speaking of excited, I like to kind of ask guests recently. It's a fun question. Carter and Chris. I'll start with Carter and then go to Chris. What is something that you're excited about coming up? It could be anything.
Something I'm excited about.
What's something you're excited about?
And, there's a little bit of excitement and a little bit of stress, like right now with things. And the biggest one that's kind of a big stressor recently, but it's kind of exciting, is the idea of talk of convention. Mm-hmm. So convention in person was kind of agreed upon. I don't think it's still 100%, but most likely it's leaning towards it'll happen. And convention this year, the two conversation topics right now are Crawfordsville, Indiana, and Madison, Wisconsin.
Midwest represent.
The Midwest is holding strong. So I'm working with Julie Smith and the business office and talking with the Grand Lodge as well as the Educational Foundation and the Founders Corp on talking about hosting convention here. And fingers crossed, Crawfordsville actually looks to be the cheapest option.
Wow.
Potentially.
Unbelievable.
Meaning convention could be hosted in Crawfordsville, Indiana. For the first time ever in Faded Out history.
That'll be Noah's big excuse to go get Steak and Shake.
I think
that'll be like Shake Run.
All of Faded Out Takai, just Steak and Shake.
Every single person at the convention, Steak and Shake.
Shakes. You guys really want some shakes? No. I'm excited. It's been stressful trying to get Julie to answer back emails and communicate, and it's just been a lot of stress and some loss of sleep trying to talk with her and her not responding and stress, but. The excitement is there of either way, it's driving distance again. So meaning the oopsie-doos could come in troves, which I think would be awesome. So either way, I think it's going to be a good convention between the two options. Yeah. So that's kind of excitement.
Yeah, if given the opportunity, I would love to attend and
the conversation of bringing the podcast studio on the road.
Potentially host a podcast episode at convention. That might go crazy.
You could do a few little segments. Bring some undergrads on from other places.
Oh yeah.
Bring some the GL staff. Bring CFO. A little bit of everybody.
And if we really wanted to do something special, what could even be possible is do a bunch of like 30-minute episodes, combine it into like a 3-hour special or something like that. All possibilities, but yeah, really exciting stuff coming up with convention on the horizon. Chris, what's something you're excited about?
Something I'm excited about. I'll say probably like this is my sophomore year. I think this is where, as a student, I think every sophomore would have to spread out their wings a little bit more. Definitely, I feel like one of my classes we're doing like a research type thing where it's called a chronicle, una crónica, which is gonna be it sounds pretty, but
fancy.
Yeah, a little fancy, but it's definitely something that I'm going to see I'm learning more about like Crawfordsville a little bit more and the Latino community a little bit more, and then something I'll probably I just hope that I'll get to do is study abroad my next year.
Where are you looking at going?
Colombia.
Ooh, that'd be fire.
But I don't know. The airplane crashes are going kind of.
Chris is good.
That reminds me. I saw like I think it was a tweet or something the other day that was like, it's now acceptable to clap after the plane lands again, and I was like, I can't believe we've circled back.
No, but before that, I also have another class that I'm in Spanish for, and we're gonna go to Argentina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's an immersion course. Yeah.
An immersion course? That's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be 2 weeks, I think, for the summer after commencement, I think it is. But it's definitely going to be fun.
So what was for this Argentina trip, what are things you would do? Like explore like cultural areas or?
Yeah, so definitely like see like one of their like important buildings, like how they like, what's the culture around it? Like their music, the people. What makes soccer important in there too. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be trying to explore all the authentic food, bro. My big back, I'd be like, oh man, where's all the food at?
I also think that the food over there is pretty good too. I feel like you're gonna get like served like a basically like meal, like the same as how it costs like McDonald's or like over here. It's like much better.
Oh yeah.
But the same price, but
the food in
I've heard about that.
It's better.
The food in Peru was so cheap compared to the U.S. Like, I'm getting drinks and my food for like dirt cheap. It was so nice.
I've heard like places like that you get like quite a good meal for relatively cheap.
Cook, what are you excited about?
Oh, yeah.
That's a great question. I'm excited to watch the new season of the ending of Cobra Kai.
I've already seen it.
I haven't seen the last 5 episodes yet. The 5 new episodes that came out. I haven't watched it. Very excited to watch that. Yeah, no spoiler. Okay, come on, bro. You got to watch it.
Cobra Kai, the newer seasons are not as good, I think, as the first few.
I think it's fair. I think, which I understand, like the story they were telling, but like what I found interesting is that they kind of went away from Cobra Kai. Like Cobra Kai's the bad guys now. It's like,
yes.
Well, the show's named after the bad guys. Like, come on now. What are we doing?
Sick, bro.
But what else am I excited about? This is a nerdier option, but new Fortnite season just dropped today.
Okay, buddy.
Get your V-Bucks.
I don't know. Well, if I was going to be excited, the new Marvel ride.
Yeah, you Marvel Rivals guys.
Be happy about.
I don't play that one. I don't play that one. Fortnite. Now, what's something personal I'm excited about? Excited to be a third of the way through second semester freshman year. Almost done with my freshman year here.
Don't remind me. It's going to be my senior year.
Dude. That's great. Yeah, next year's gonna be crazy for us. You guys being seniors, like I feel like I can't speak for everybody else, but I definitely feel like Drake and I have like built a really strong connection with you juniors. I think Drake and I live with 2 of them.
It's gonna be hard. I don't like thinking about what's gonna happen at the end of next year because I know every year like I don't cry that much, but like when the seniors graduate, like, it's brutal. But
I'm not
seeing all the guys we've brought in over the 4 years I've been here, and then leaving them all is gonna be.
Yeah, I'm not.
Your babies go.
I'm not looking forward to graduation either. I joked with Ian when he got the news that he passed comps. I was like, "No, you're supposed to fail and stay here."
Hey, shout out, bro! All our guys passed comps.
They did.
Our guys did, and we got Andrew Dever double distinction. What history and Spanish,
and then Noah got his in religions.
Religion, I mean, huge for our boys.
Yeah, shout out to the guys, man. Shout out to the seniors. Almost done. Really sad. I don't want to see them go.
I don't either. My pledge father graduates in this class.
Man, my grandpa.
Your grandpapa. It's gonna be brutal.
Yeah, excited for more responsibility to come my way. Also a little stressed about it, but more excited because I think I've already mentioned this to you guys, but starting next semester I'll have more workload with my on-campus job because a lot of the seniors that run the show for the sports statistics program with Mr. Brent Harris, absolute legend. Shout out to Brent Harris. They're going to be leaving. They're on to greener pastures, onto the future. So it's going to be us. Like, and I, unless I'm mistaken, I don't think there's a single junior on staff. So a lot of stuff is going to fall back on us freshmen and well, I think I'm either the only freshman or one of 2. So a lot of the sophomores, like, myself and Kai, we work together a lot. So us and some of the other guys, it's gonna be a lot on us. But I think we can handle it. We'll step up to it.
That's huge. That's what you want to do in the future. Getting that kind of gig, and now doing the video editing for Faded Out, you're gonna be set up nice.
Yeah. So if by some miracle anybody from some sort of football publication is listening to this, I'll graduate in 2028. So hit me up.
Start looking ahead. The 2028 draft.
Start recruiting. Pretty excited for things to come. Obviously excited for the summer. Get to focus on myself a little bit more, have some personal time, spend time with family, things like that.
Summer's going to be weird. I mean, after August, I'll be done with my term on the Grand Lodge.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time. Then that fall, I'll be done with my second term as president.
Mm-hmm.
Can't serve anymore on the executive council. That is going to be the...
No, that's crazy.
Oh, no.
Dude, it's going to be weird. I have been serving on the executive council since my first week after being brothered in. My first week after being brothered in, I was elected treasurer. And I have served on the executive council since being brothered in.
Yeah.
So it's going to be odd to step away for a semester, but the closer and closer we get, I'm getting a little excited that I can kind of step back and...
The Unk retiring.
The Unk.
Unk is stepping down.
As Talon calls me, I'm the grandpa, so I can sit back and sleep a little bit, get my naps.
Gramps could finally get his nap in.
Yeah, my freshman year I was able to nap. Since then, nope.
Yeah.
Cook gets his daily nap in though.
No, I took one Wednesday and Thursday. I don't often nap, but I needed to the last couple of days because I've been feeling pretty overwhelmed lately, so I need to kind of dial it back, settle down, relax. Yeah, a lot of stuff coming on, trying to balance. This is my first semester having 5 classes here, which is I'm going to do again next semester most likely, but balancing 5 classes along with keeping this podcast going and trying to grow it, as well as fulfill my duty as tech manager, try to keep up to date with things like that, and hopefully getting some short form content going on the socials here soon.
I mean, if we can figure out how to use that camera, it has a mic on it too that you can use.
That's what I mentioned to Carson. I told Carson, I was like, yeah, this camera, it's got potential vlog type video options, so
the audio isn't bad. The audio actually is pretty good on especially with the hookup mic. So
really hoping to, and then that's going to come with coming up with ideas, trying to keep things fresh, as well. So trying to balance all that with also having a social life and staying in touch with family and spending time with them. It's becoming a little overwhelming a little bit, but I'm trying to take it one day at a time, one step at a time. But
if you've got anything you'd like to see the Tater Delt Boys do on short video content, drop it into the Instagram.
That's actually either YouTube comment section or send us DMs on the TDX Wabash Instagram. Ideas that you'd like to see us do for short form content for Instagram Reels, TikToks, things of that nature. Please hit us up. Would love to have some. Carson and I have already been working on some ideas, but would love to have more ideas.
I will not dance to WAP.
We will not be doing dancing. Okay, just to clarify, the boys will not be doing TikTok dances. It can be fun trends, funny. We'll do we can do skits, whatever. We will not be dancing. I will not.
I cannot throw it back.
That might border on hazing.
I will not be. Even though I know you're all begging to see me throw it back.
New member task: dance to WAP on the TikTok.
That's insane.
Oh man. Yeah. So we've all, been working hard, the last over the 5 weeks of the semester, last semester, you guys before that. So I'm kind of curious, what are ways that you guys kind of find time to have personal fun, I guess, or kind of forget about the school stuff for a moment and just focus on yourself? What are some things that you do?
I am a workaholic.
Yeah. Always doing something.
I'm always on the run. Someone always needs something, typically at the house. And especially last semester and last year, not once did I take the time for myself to do free time. Now I've gotten to the point I get all my homework done as early as possible. And I'm not a huge gaming all the time kind of guy, but recently I'm I need to take some me time. I need to just hang out and socialize with the boys.
Yeah.
So I'll be all right, these 2 hours I'm gonna sit down, we're gonna play either Fortnite Ballistics with Cook or some
greatest game
or some Marvel Rivals, which is it's the best one. It's the better one. It is. I think
you're wrong.
You don't know what you're talking about. I do. I'm an expert. Me and Cassie Hagen, we consulted.
Wait, Cassie Hagen, if you're listening, you want to run ballistics?
I think just allotting that time in my day, even though it's unfortunate having to schedule the free time, I think doing that and realizing on weekends I feel like this is the time for me to socialize with my boys, take some me time. Like that is what this time on the weekends is for. And has done a lot better. It's helped with my mental health for sure. I think it just takes some time to schedule that out and figure it out when you get an overload of 5 classes and then a bunch of other stuff.
Chris, what about you? What you do in your free time, to kind of balance yourself out?
So, within the week, I'm a little bit of a workaholic as well. You know, go to classes, make sure I do my homework, go to work. But then the weekends, it's like my lazy days. So Friday, every time 8 to 10, I try my best to go to indoor soccer club. So that's what I do, like just to like make sure like I'm getting my little steps in, making sure I'm kicking the ball, playing with the boys. And then within the weekend is where I I try my best to go to church. Shout out to Kai. Kai does wake me up, to go to church. But yeah, definitely that. I mean, and I try not to do any homework except for Sundays. That's when you have to get.
Yeah, you got to lock back in on Sunday night.
But that's what I usually do. I mean, I try to appreciate myself, try to lay off a little bit, But yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could say the weekends were lazy days for me, but I'm trying to balance so much stuff at once. I'm like, and even like, I'm trying to get better about it, but like, I kind of feel myself starting to turn into a little bit of like I guess I don't know what the term for it would be. Like, I find it hard to relax sometimes. Like, even when I'm trying to take personal time and thinking about, well, I could be doing this right now.
Dude, workaholic. Right now. That'd be the name.
I'm like, I should be doing this right now, or I could be doing this. Like, okay, why am I sitting here playing this video game when I could be coming up with ideas for the socials, or I could be doing more homework, or I could be doing this or doing that. I'm like, that's why I'd mentioned on Wednesday and Thursday I needed to just take a nap, because I was like, that's the only way I could get myself to relax. I was like, I could feel myself starting to become overwhelmed. I couldn't chill, so I was like, I'm just gonna take a nap. I just need to recenter myself, just focus, and I'm getting better at it. Like this, like they warn you about it ahead of time, but you can't truly prepare. But Wabash has been challenged. Like it's challenged me in ways that I didn't expect it to, but I'm glad it is, because I'm learning, I'm adapting to it, and I don't want to get thrown into the workforce and then have to adapt to difficulties on the fly. Like I'm glad that I'm learning to balance things now, but yeah, it's getting difficult. I'm trying to get better at it, so I'm just
As a freshman, that's like the biggest thing. My freshman and sophomore year were workaholic, work. There was no break. I wanted to work. I was doing 3 labs and 5 classes. Like I had no free time, and I was serving as treasurer half the time and then president the other half, and it was just go. And I think this year I finally figured out like the rhythm, like just, and it took time. It took 2 years for me to figure out the rhythm between how much I had to work and how much time I had for myself. I think it's something that comes with time and experience, and you never had to worry about it in high school.
Yeah.
You don't think about it when you get to college.
I mean, high school was go to school, get back, do whatever you want until like 8 or 9 p.m. and then it was homework and go to bed, right? I mean, like that was basically the schedule in high school. Here it's not like that. I mean, you got to really like set up a schedule and balance basically different lives too. Like I have a lot of close connections back home. Like I consider a lot of my family members like close friends, so I want to make sure I'm spending time with them too. So I'm like, it's almost like I'm balancing multiple lives and multiple things within those different lives. So it can become challenging, but I'm getting better at it, and that's how things go. Chris, did you have similar issues as a freshman that you're getting better at? Or?
Oh yeah, definitely. Once
he just doesn't sleep.
I have heard the stories about Chris being Gino's taking that role from you. Don't worry.
Yeah. So I'm off.
Gino can defend the house at 6 a.m. You don't have to do it anymore.
No. No, definitely freshman was it was pretty hard on me. I feel like I was definitely homesick. I didn't have a car to start off with, so that was kind of difficult for me, like to see my family. And but the only thing I could do was probably just give a call, and then definitely as being a former.
There you got it.
My bad. You got it. Little brain fart in there. No, but yeah, Fido. I mean, it wasn't really my thing. I didn't feel like I was like, is Wabash really meant for me? Like, I don't think it is, and it's just, I feel like it is at that same time because you don't know anyone at all, and I came here with like no friends trying to plan it, like to come with me at all. I just decided, maybe I should go on my own route. Try to pick a school that is, where I can meet new people. Start up my network and see what can this college offer me.
I mean, I did the same thing. I knew nobody coming into Wabash.
Yeah.
Absolutely nobody. Came in here as an independent. I was stone cold, and I am going to be an independent. I'm going to have my own room. No one's ever going to bother me. And then I met Carson. He was an independent next to me. He moved out downstairs. And then, unfortunately, I felt no kidding. I love my experience.
I shouldn't have followed him. No.
I'm gonna shout this out on the podcast. My first experience meeting Carson. He's gonna be so mad about this.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no.
His mom, Carla Wirtz, awesome lady. She's super nice. One of the nicest people I've ever met. Comes into my room like Carson's setting up his room. She goes, "Just make sure you talk to my son now that he's in a room by himself. If he gets too lonely, he'll start talking to his plant." So his plant Jesse is still at the front entrance of the house, but just keep that in mind, boys. We got to keep talking to Carson so he doesn't start talking to his plant. Carson
might have to check in on him over the summer if he does end up staying in the house over the summer. Someone might have to come back and check in on him.
Apparently, right now the goal is me, Carson, Deacon. Might be all staying.
All staying, really?
So all three of us might be.
So what will you be staying? What will you be staying over the summer?
So I applied for 3 internships. One was in an admissions office. I'll be working in admissions over the summer.
That's
and
awesome.
one is a high school summer camp. I'll work on a summer camp with the admissions office, and the other was potentially working in the dean's office. So
wow, okay.
I might do the camp one. I could do with both internships because it's only 3 weeks. The other one it would be the rest of the summer. So either the two. I'm hoping I get the admissions one just because it's the same staff I'd be working with all summer. The dean's office one wouldn't be bad because I have a good relationship with Dean Welch, Mike Lynn, Dean McDormand, Dean Jump. I know all the deans, so it's not a big concern. Yeah, so I might, and then Deacon's going to do one on history. Carson's doing one with the theater department and the English department. So,
All right.
That's nice. Yeah.
Chris, you got any summer plans coming up?
Well, hopefully, right now I'm trying to apply for internships as well, making sure I can get my experience in. So, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I definitely trying to look for internships. I did apply for one, but I sadly got rejected. Yeah.
Man.
But yeah, I mean, there's nothing more else but to keep looking for.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's what I'm still gonna be doing. And if not, then maybe I can just look for just a regular job,
Yeah.
But I'll definitely try my best to just apply for those internships as well. So, but then also I got that study abroad, immersion course. Sorry. Yeah.
When will that be?
Let me see. I think
probably
it's
May, right?
May 17th to
so
the end of May.
It's usually after commencement. Those ones are.
Okay.
That's when I went to Peru. Was that?
Oh, so this summer is like if you're gonna be going to Argentina this summer.
Yeah.
10 days.
Oh
right?
wow.
Around 10 days.
Yeah, it'd be like 2 weeks, kind of like that.
Ish.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So I'm definitely gonna get.
Okay, so that's definitely exciting.
Yeah. So that's in the plans too.
Other than playing ballistics and farming ballistics to get back in the top 2,000. What are you doing?
I'm not quite top 2,000. I'm on that grind set though. I swear, random teammates be set out there to sabotage you though, bro. Every time I get in a game with those guys, I'm like, bro, you got to be 6 years old.
And then you play with us and we're beating up a little 6-year-old.
Yeah, every time I squad up with people, I'm like, thank God I don't have to play with randoms, man. But no plans for the summer. Yeah, I'm gonna check in with Brent and see if there's any summer plans on that front. If not, I might just take the summer to chill. Honestly,
so I did my freshman year. I worked at Walmart, but no, I was kind of chilling. So
which I have thought about that too because I used to work at our local grocery store in my hometown. So I thought about if I need to do that again over the summer if I feel the need to. But no, I might just take it as a time to just chill, make sure I spend as much time with people as I can. I just don't want to get to the point where I feel like I'm lazy. I don't want to be laid up in the bed all day, so try to keep myself entertained. Last summer I tried to make it like a thing to go out and do something like every day. Most of the time, I was like playing basketball at the park. So I'll probably try to do that again. But yeah, just keep myself entertained, keep myself, going. Don't let myself fall behind mentally. Yeah, I don't have any specific plans as of right now, but maybe that'll change depending.
What Brent says and all that.
Yeah, yeah. If he wants me to do something over summer, then I'll absolutely do that. So we'll see how all that goes. But yeah, all right. Well, thank you guys for being on this very impromptu, off the cuff episode.
Out of nowhere.
I was like, hey, we don't have an episode for this week because
last night at 9:00.
Yeah, because the new studio didn't get set up. We should run something, and then the Cassie Hagen situation happened, and I was like, hey,
she made it happen.
Shout out to Cassie Hagen for blowing up on Chris so we could have a podcast episode. I gave us our topic, and we just ran with it for an hour. So thank you guys for coming on. And if you're listening on YouTube, please leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment what we could do better, what you like about the show. Definitely reply with ideas for social media content. Yeah, leave us all the good ratings, and
kisses.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming on. Thank you guys very much.
Always a pleasure, Cook.
Always love talking to you guys.
It's always fun.
It's great stuff.
He always be cooking.
I get it.
I get it. Shout out to Brian. I get it. All right, and on that note, miss you, love you, bye.